Hey everybody, and thanks for watching. My name is Brian. I'm a work from home and stay-at-home dad, and I want to talk a little bit about financial independence, what it is, and how you could achieve it. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. Thanks for watching my intro. I just made that. I hope you liked it. But I want to talk about financial independence, what it is, and how you could possibly achieve that. Now, these days, well, first of all, financial has to do with money, right? Obviously, that's just so you know what that word means. Financial has to do with money, bookkeeping, managing your finances, however you want to put that in perspective for you, right? It's managing money. And independence just means you're free from the control of somebody else, a boss, a business, a company, whatever. You're independent. You operate without constraints, right? It's you make those decisions, right? For me, it's the ability to work and make money at will on your own freedom, on your own time, how and when you want to do that. That's to me is financial independence. Okay. And it's not as difficult to achieve if you have a strategy, right? Working hard doesn't always lead to those things, doesn't always lead to your goals because a lot of people work hard. Many people work hard. The laborers work hard. The guys on construction sites work hard. I've been on construction sites. It's hard work. Hard work that didn't lead to financial success or financial freedom. So, but working smart, that does lead to financial freedom. Working towards a goal in a way that you can create your own lifestyle, or whatever that might be. I get friends, they work 60 hours a week, make tons and tons of money, right? And then I've started to meet people that are working 10 hours a week and making just as much money, and they're a lot more free. They have a lot more time to do the things they want to do. They're still obligated to create that income, but at a much less time. It takes much less time to do those things. So financial freedom, when I was growing up, we always call these people independently wealthy. This is in the 80s and 90s. If you didn't have to work, right, or worked very little, you were independently wealthy. And these were men and women who owned businesses, and they just managed them. They weren't at the shop all the time. They weren't having to go in, 40, 50 hours a week. They had a business, a store, a restaurant, several restaurants even. I think I knew a family, they had a chain of appliance stores. But they weren't working in the business all the time. They had a really good life, right? Comfortable financially. They had all the nice stuff and they traveled and did those things. And they just had someone who managed the business for them, right? But these days, financial independence doesn't have to come from a brick and mortar business. And it doesn't have to take a decade to build it up or have millions of dollars to invest into a business, right? Brick and mortar businesses are expensive. Just to open a store, you've got to have, a down payment, a long-term lease commitment. You have to do what they call a build out, which is the design of the interior of the office that you're renting or the building you're leasing. Or if you have to purchase a building, then you have to furnish it and design it. There's a lot of money. I've done it. I had a tax office several years ago, and it was very expensive to get into. And I don't recommend that, especially with so many online opportunities. But financial independence is really just your ability to create your income on your own time and in your own way. And there's a lot of ways of doing that. And if you haven't started looking, then you should start investigating, start checking out different opportunities. There's lots of ways of doing it. When I first started really creating my own income, now I'd work independently. I was a contractor for several companies. They would hire me and I would do a project, but they were on a timeline. They expected me to do so much work each week. And, it wasn't really as independent, free from the control of others. Because if I stopped showing up or didn't do how they liked, I was out the door. It was almost like a job. They just didn't withhold taxes. So I was a contractor and I got paid a lot more than I was if I was an employee, but still, it wasn't total freedom. And when that all changed for me, what I found was it was a mindset. It was a shift in mindset, a decision that I had to make because I had started a side hustle while I was working for a construction company back in 2012. That was about 12 years ago. And we had some agreements in place, but they didn't manifest. Like they weren't really keeping their word when it came to my bonus and my pay, and things weren't getting better for me, but it was getting much better for the company. So I started a little side hustle in the afternoon. So I leave early in the afternoon from this job and I go out and do this other side hustle. And it was pretty good in the beginning, but it got better and better and better. And probably within 6 or 8 weeks, I was making more money in a day almost than I was all week at this construction company. And even then, I stayed on the construction company for 2 more months before I finally left. I was so worried that, wow, am I going to be able to keep this side hustle going? Is this going to keep going for me? Am I going to keep making money? What happens if it all falls apart? What if I screw up and it ends? And it didn't actually. I ran that side hustle full time for 3 years after that. But it was a shift in mindset of like, well, you know what? There's always going to be a job. There's always JOBs. There's always a job out there for us, right? We get so settled in, we get snug as a bug with our salary and our paycheck coming in every month. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with security, but there's not really insecurity because you're not in control of it. That's the difference. You're not in control of that pay. Unless you're the stellar, invaluable employee, which many of us are, that still doesn't protect you. Companies are bought and sold, employees are laid off. Executives make huge mistakes. Managers make mistakes with the company. They go bankrupt. They have to lay off people when the economy gets soft, right? It doesn't matter. There's stories they make movies about this, massive layoffs at these corporations where these guys who are making millions of dollars a year are now almost broke themselves. So it can happen to anybody. Enron is a terrible example of these people's entire life savings getting wiped out because the management were crooks. So there's no real security other than what you can do yourself. That's where the real security comes in. That's where financial independence comes in, where you've made yourself valuable to others, where they're willing to pay for your services or products. And you can't get rid of that. Nobody can destroy that except for you. That's real financial independence. And that was when I shifted my viewpoint from, well, if I can do this with this little thing, I turned into a few $100s a week into, well, a lot more than that, let's just say. I 10x'd it over those 3 years, 20x'd it. It was ridiculous. And it was amazing. I had helped so many people. I did so much for my family, my friends, for the community. I made a lot of donations, and it was amazing. But it all came from a shift in viewpoint. And that's how you can attain financial independence, is by shifting your viewpoint about your abilities, right? It doesn't matter what kind of job you have. You could probably go out on your own in that same field and get hired to do that work independently. There was a story, fella, one last thing, and I'm gonna end this video. He had quit his job because he was tired of the company and they weren't paying him much. And he left. Now, this could be just a story. He left the company, and a few weeks later, he was hired back through a temp agency at the same company at double his pay. That's still a job, but I'm just saying, you never know where the tides are going to take you if you don't step out that door and take that first step down that path to financial independence and control over your income in your life. So that's it. I'd love to answer questions. Comment below if you have questions. I can tell you what I'm doing right now. I can tell you what I've been doing for the last decade, how I created residual income and passive income in different businesses. And I'd love to share that with you. So that's it. Have a great day. Stay tuned.